What would happen if the entire world ran out of oxygen for 5 seconds? This is the hypothetical scenario we're going to explore today. In this video, we will delve into the fascinating concept of a temporary absence of oxygen for a mere 5 seconds. Buckle up as we embark on an imaginative adventure into the unknown. To comprehend the implications of such an event, let us first establish the context. Imagine a world where all oxygen suddenly disappears for just 5 seconds. This instantaneous absence of the life-sustaining element would have immediate and far-reaching consequences across the planet. The most evident effect would be on living beings. Oxygen deprivation for even a few seconds can lead to dire consequences. We will explore the physical and physiological reactions experienced by humans, animals, and plant life during this brief but critical time frame. What about us humans in particular? A human cannot live without oxygen for just 5 seconds. Oxygen is essential for sustaining human life, as it is required for cellular respiration, the process by which our cells produce energy. Without oxygen, our bodies cannot generate the necessary energy to maintain vital functions. Within seconds of oxygen deprivation, the body's oxygen levels start to drop rapidly. Even a brief interruption of oxygen supply can lead to severe consequences. Let us take you to the world of imagination. Imagine you're sitting in your living room, watching TV. Suddenly, you feel a sharp pain in your ears. You look around and everyone else seems to be experiencing the same thing. The air is getting thinner and it's harder to breathe. You start to panic. You try to run to the door, but you can't seem to get enough air. You collapse to the floor, gasping for breath. The world starts to go dark. You're losing consciousness. And then 5 seconds later, it's over. The air returns, and you can breathe again. You're alive, but you're shaken. You've never experienced anything like that before. Without oxygen, vital systems such as transportation, communication, and energy production would come to a halt. We will dive into the chaos that would ensue as planes fall from the sky, vehicles cease to operate, and electronic devices fail. The sudden breakdown of societal infrastructure would push humanity into uncharted territory, leading to widespread panic and confusion. When we talked about transportation, what is the role of oxygen here? An internal combustion engine, ICE, uses oxygen to burn fuel and create power. If there is no oxygen, the fuel cannot burn and the engine will stall. Oxygen is important for the ozone layer because it is a component of ozone molecules. Ozone molecules are formed when oxygen molecules, O2, are split apart by ultraviolet, UV, radiation from the sun. The free oxygen atoms then recombine with other oxygen molecules to form ozone molecules, O3. If there was no oxygen in the atmosphere, the ozone layer would not be able to form. This would mean that the Earth would be exposed to harmful UV radiation, which would have a devastating impact on life on Earth. Concrete buildings crumble without oxygen because oxygen is an important binder in concrete structures. Have you ever thought like that? Without oxygen, the compounds do not hold their rigidity. Concrete is made up of cement, water, and aggregates. This means that oxygen is needed for the reaction to take place. Without oxygen, the reaction would not occur, and the concrete would not be able to hold its shape. Which means in just 5 seconds, every building, bridge, monument, and statue will be destroyed. A civilization will become dust within these 5 seconds. We all know the fact that 21% of the atmosphere consists of oxygen. And if there is no oxygen, a major part of the atmosphere becomes less dense. Hence, the sky gets darker. Really? Because oxygen molecules help scatter sunlight in the atmosphere. Without oxygen, there would be fewer particles to scatter the sunlight, and the sky would appear darker. When sunlight hits the atmosphere, it is scattered in all directions by the oxygen molecules. However, the shorter wavelengths of light, blue and violet, are scattered more than the longer wavelengths, red and orange. This is why we see a blue sky most of the time. If there was no oxygen in the atmosphere, there would be no particles to scatter the shorter wavelengths of light. This would mean that the sky would appear darker, almost black. In the aftermath of the oxygen shortage, the world would be a very different place. Millions of people would have been killed or injured, and the global economy would be in chaos. The environment would also be severely damaged. Plants and animals would die without oxygen, and the ozone layer would be destroyed. This would expose everyone to harmful UV rays, which could lead to an increase in skin cancer and other health problems. It would take many years for the world to recover from the oxygen shortage, but eventually, life would go on. New plants and animals would evolve, and the ozone layer would slowly repair itself. The 5 seconds without oxygen would be a dark chapter in human history, but it would also be a reminder of how fragile life is and how important it is to protect our planet. After those intense 5 seconds, oxygen would gradually return, bringing relief and hope for survival. We will discuss the recovery process and the challenges humanity would face in rebuilding shattered systems and restoring order. From medical emergencies to re-establishing communication networks, the resilience and adaptability of individuals and societies would be put to the test. The exact effects of the oxygen shortage would depend on a number of factors, such as the altitude, the weather, and the overall health of the population. In some areas, the oxygen shortage might be more severe than in others. For example, people living at high altitudes would be more likely to experience health problems. The government would likely play a key role in the aftermath of the oxygen shortage. They would need to coordinate relief efforts and help to rebuild the infrastructure. And one more thing. The long-term effects of the oxygen shortage would be difficult to predict. However, it is possible that the event could lead to a number of changes, such as a decrease in the global population and an increase in the use of renewable energy sources. There's a major question lurking behind this problem. Is this topic relevant to be discussed today? We believe that discussing this topic can help us to appreciate the importance of oxygen and to take steps to protect our planet. The climate crisis is a major threat to the environment, and it could lead to an oxygen shortage. Most importantly, the COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted the importance of respiratory health. Guys, what if the oxygen shortage lasted longer than 5 seconds? Well, that's a different story. If the oxygen shortage lasted for minutes or hours, it would be a much more serious event. In the long term, a prolonged oxygen shortage could even lead to the extinction of humanity. So, it's important to remember that oxygen is essential for life, and we should do everything we can to protect it. Thank you for joining us on this thought-provoking exploration. If you found this video engaging, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more captivating content. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep imagining.